This is The Tea Mind with me, Erica Moore. It's a space to slow down, step out of the noise, and see things a little more clearly. Some episodes are conversations around the moment that something clicked and what changed afterwards. Others are short clarity sessions, a few minutes where we sip tea together so we can come back to ourselves and think clearly in the middle of a full day. Because when the usual pace stops working and everything starts to feel a little bit unclear, the answer is rarely more information. It's usually a little more attention. A chance to pause and to see what's been overlooked, and to create enough space for clarity to find you. Welcome back to this episode of The Tea Mind. So this episode is all about reflecting on what happens when you have finished work for the day. And maybe you know that feeling when your workday is complete, but your mind is still going back over emails that's still to be answered, or maybe it's revisiting conversations or trying to plan tomorrow before you've properly ended today. If so, then this episode is for you. And as always, we're not trying to fix everything or figure out our whole lives in this episode. We are simply gifting ourselves a few moments to pause together, to brew some tea, to be a little more presence, and to hopefully leave with a little more clarity. So today I invite you to brew any herbal infusion that you're drawn to. I am drinking Big Red Rooibos, which is a lovely caffeine-free herb from South Africa. So many ways to say it. Some people say red bush, red tea, rooibos. There's so many different ways to see it, and also so many different tastes, so it really matters that you get a really good quality rooibos. It should be a really deep amber colour with lovely soft notes of oranges and dried hay. It can be really good with milk as well, so it's a really good one if you're trying to cut down on caffeine. And for me, it's got a real sense of settling. So I invite you to choose any herbal infusion that you're drawn to today and notice whatever it brings for you. So let's pause with our tea as we become present in this moment, just allowing the warmth of your cup to be enough as you slowly unwind your shoulders, just feeling them drop a little bit. As you get ready to sip your tea slowly and ease into your next breath. So before we think about anything else, let's just notice the tea today. Maybe you've heard the water pour into the cup. Maybe you've watched it steep or it's still steeping. Perhaps you've been looking forward to this cup all day. Just pay attention to the colour of the liquor. Notice any steam that's rising. And just feel the warmth against your palms as you bring the cup a little bit closer. Just noticing the aroma as you take your first sip. And notice the flavour as it first arrives in your mouth. And then notice what remains after you've swallowed. The way it changes and the way it stays for a little moment before fading gently. Just appreciating your tea for what it is in this moment, without wishing it to be better or different in any way. And without questioning your choice, just gifting yourself a cup of tea and a few moments to notice where you are. So some days leave a mark on us. We might move into the evening, but part of us is still playing back things during the day. Maybe it's an email that you've not replied to, or a conversation that didn't go as well as you hoped, or an unfinished piece of work, or a deadline you've missed. Well, anything that is, it might just be lurking somewhere in the back of your mind. So just take a little sip and notice anything that comes to mind for you as you feel the warmth moving through your hands into your chest. And for just a moment, allow those unfinished things to remain unfinished, noticing that they don't need anything from you right now. Your tea isn't trying to become tomorrow's tea, it's not trying to be different, it's simply here. And notice what it feels like to be here in this moment, just for now. And notice how a day can finish without feeling finished. You might have finished all your meetings and closed down your laptop, but perhaps there's a part of you still in work mode. Not because there's more work to do, because there's always more work to do, but maybe it's a little sense that you should have gotten more done, maybe finished more, achieved more, and your attention then keeps going back to something. And as you continue to sip your tea, just notice how the flavour has softened a little since your first sip. It's the same tea, but a slightly different experience. And when you reflect on your days, most of your days could have kept going and going and going because there's always more to be done. There's always something else to think about or more emails to tackle. But at some point, instead of trying to do more, it's more helpful to ask yourself, have I done enough for today? So as you continue to sip your tea, just ask yourself, what are you still carrying from today? Not what's on your list tomorrow or what needs to be done next week, but just today, what are you still carrying or playing over from today? And notice whatever shows up for you. And then ask yourself, if this remained unfinished tomorrow, what would actually happen? If it was still unfinished tomorrow, what would actually happen? And just notice the answer that comes up for you. And we often carry these things into our evenings or along with us in our mind long after they've stopped actually benefiting from our attention. So perhaps it's an email that's not going to get better because we're still thinking about it at 11 o'clock at night, or a decision that's not going to become more clear because we're still going over and over and over it. A day can still be unfinished and yet still be over. And just continue to sip your tea. A day can be unfinished and still be over. And as we begin to close, just choose one thing that you're willing to leave where it is until tomorrow. Just leave it where it is for the moment. And as you take some of your final sips, just notice that last trace of flavour as you finish your cup. And whenever you're ready, just place it down gently, listening to the sound it makes against the table. A little ending, just complete. A bit like your day, it may not be as complete as you'd like, but few days ever are. So just notice that you can set your day down now and enjoy the rest of your evening, knowing that everything else will still be waiting for you tomorrow. So thank you for sharing your cup of tea with me today. I hope you enjoyed a little more presence and perhaps got a little bit more clarity so that you can have a better ending to your day today and for the following week. Until next time, happy brewing. If something in this episode stayed with you, don't try and change everything at once. Just start with a moment. Make the tea, let it steep. Take a breath and notice what is actually there. And from there, choose what matters next. Because clarity isn't something that we find, it's something that we make space for. This is the Tea Mind. Until next time, take care of your attention.